What's up, my friends? My name is Marissa. Welcome to my channel and welcome back. If you have been here before, super stoked to be sharing this space with you guys. My intention simply for this platform and honestly all of my other platforms is to provide some illumination from my finite aspect of the one infinite creator to bring clarity, confirmation, and peace to you guys along your path. And if any of my readings do that, then I sure hope that you'd show your support by liking the video, commenting, sharing the video, and subscribing if you have been here more than once. All of this does help my channel grow and just these messages reach people when and if they need them. So firstly, I want to thank, before we get into the aspects of the reading, I want to thank those individuals that came out for the virtual group breath and meditation container on Saturday. The theme was on getting unstuck, and we used some pretty dope pranayama techniques to get some stagnant energy moving and grooving. And just so you guys know, if you want to stay in the loop on updates like that, in person gatherings, virtual gatherings, make sure you are subscribed to my newsletter. You can find info for that down in the description box. You just go to my website, scroll to the very bottom of the page, and any page, and you can sign up for my mailing list just like that. So to get into the topic of the day, if you're here, you're probably already pretty aware that your universe, your YOUniverse, is always attempting to convey messages to you. It's always communicating with you. This is a benign universe we live in, that yes, sometimes it uses tough love to shake us awake. I like to say that when we are on our journeys, first, our lessons, or the way that the universe tries to get our attention, starts off by a light tap. Then if we're not paying attention, it's like a knock. Then it becomes a pounding. And before we know it, our door is being kicked in, metaphorically, and the walls that house our reality and the ideas and identities attached to them come crumbling down fairly quickly. All right. And so generally we need less of those more alarming wake-up calls, the more devout we've become along our path, the more sensitive we've become, and the more that we are leaning into our life's lessons, because this is a university for the soul, right? And so the more that we're leaning into the lessons, the less that we are needing the wake-up calls or the reminders that, hey, you're supposed to be learning here, okay? And so that's kind of essentially what the theme of this reading is all about, is what is that message? What are those messages? The bigger messages that your universe is trying to convey to you at this point in time, okay? And so, you know, me being part of your universe in this moment, I hope that this brings the reflection, the confirmation, and the synchronicity that you're seeking. There are 4 aspects to these 3 different piles today. The first is the message your universe would like to give to you in this moment. Next is something that your universe has been trying to convey to you recently that you have not maybe been receptive to. The third aspect is how you can be more receptive and open to messages from your universe. And lastly, what it is that your universe is assisting you with currently on your path. So like I said, there are 3 groups to choose from today. Take your time in selecting your pile. You can use a random number generator. You can pause the video and gaze at the cards however long you need to. But whenever you guys are ready, let's go ahead and hop right into this journey. What's up, group number 1? Welcome to your reading. This is a message from your universe, and me being part of your universe in this moment. I hope that these bring clarity, confirmation, synchronicity, anything that you're seeking along your path that will help you move forward with greater conviction. So if you missed the intro, go ahead and check that out. I get a little bit deeper into just how messages and synchronicities from the universe, your universe, work. But most of you guys are probably already very familiar with that. And as always, my intention is just to bring forward messages of healing and peace to you along your journey. And if any of my readings do that for you, I'd hope that you would show your support by liking the video, leaving a comment, and if you've been here more than once, consider subscribing to the channel. All right, let's get into this. We have 4 aspects for these readings. The first one is the message your universe would like to give to you in this moment. The next is something your universe has been trying to convey to you that you've not been receptive to recently. Next is how to be more open to messages from your universe. And lastly, what your universe is assisting you with currently on your path. You can stick around for the shuffling portion where I deal out all the cards, or if you go to the description box, you'll see where it says group 1 reading begins. You can just skip right into the reading. All right, if you're sticking around, let's get into this. The message your universe would like to give to you in this moment. What's the message pile 1's universe would like to give to them in this moment? What is the message for group number 1 in this moment? Okay. And the message for group number 1 in this moment, please. Anything else? All right. Next, we're getting into something Group 1's universe has been trying to convey to them that they've not been receptive to recently, please. Okay, I'm not going to take all of these. Let's try that again. Something Group 1's universe has been trying to convey that they've not been receptive to. Okay, next, how to be more open. How can pile number 1 be more open to messages from their universe? Okay, and lastly, we're going to get into what is Group 1's universe currently assisting them with on their path. Anything else? What are you currently assisting Group 1 with? Yeah. Okay, so these cards are just here for clarification. Let's get into your reading, Group number 1. A message from your universe. The message that your universe would like to give you in this moment. Let's see what it is. First, we have confidence is key to your success. Next, we have a new start is coming. With 2 new moons, this tells me that you guys are moving in a direction of something new. Obviously, because this is in the sign of Leo, this tells me that this could have something to do with being creative in some way, being in the public eye in some way, or just using your natural gifts and talents to shine. This is where you are leading a life of the heart. You are leading a life where you are very confident in the direction that you're going. And this is a let's see what else we have. We have determination. Yeah, for sure. I was getting the sense, you guys, that this is something that you've been, like a shift that you've been wanting to make for some while, or you've been wanting to change the narrative in some way. A narrative that, with all this yellow, I was seeing the solar plexus when I was reading into this energy. I was seeing solar plexus energy. Leo is ruled by the sun. And I always think of the solar plexus, which tells me that, confidence and believing in yourself and shifting the narrative, right? That things are working in your favor always, because they are. This is the main message, is that things are working in your favor. You've been determined. You've been moving in a specific direction for some time. And all that you've been working towards has not gone unnoticed. And there were some key lessons that you were meant to learn along the way. And I feel like maybe, if anything, things have not gone according to your timing from this level. But just be aware that all that you're working towards, all that you're working for, is paying off. And it's closer than you think, is what I'm getting. Whatever timeline you've been hoping to merge with, and what you've been working towards the most, whether that's career, or whether that's just a new, like living in a new state, or just feeling like you've been stuck in general, but not giving up. Whatever that thing is that you've been working towards, like maybe it's more freedom in your external life. Maybe it's you want to live a life that is more dharmic, that feels more authentic to your soul's calling. Maybe it is you want to see a shift in finances. That's coming. And I feel like there's been a lot more that's been learned about trusting and divine timing and confidence that's not self-sourced, right? This is sourced confidence is what I'm getting. So let's get a little bit more details about this. Please, Spirit, can you tell us more about the message the universe would like to give group 1 in this moment? Yeah, I did see the Emperor card flip over when I was in one of these piles when I was shuffling earlier. So I do believe a big part of this is just no matter what is going on, you have an unshakable faith in everything working out for you. So first we have, the Six of Wands. This is the ultimate card of success. It's closer than you think, group number 1. And this is, again, because it's Leo and this is the Six of Wands, this is telling me that in some way you're working with people, or you're very well known in your niche. You're very well known in your community. You're gaining more accolades. You're gaining more people catching traction to what it is that you're offering, whatever it is that you're offering. More people want the magic and the medicine that you're extending, right? This is like success that I feel like you have only, that you've been dreaming of. And that maybe to some degree you felt bad for feeling like you wanted this success, or just like maybe superficial in some way. But I feel like ultimately it's because you always knew that this was the type of success that you were meant to have. And it's only going to get better. I feel like the level that you were tapping into, that you have been tapping into, is only like a minute level of the degree that of impact that you're meant to have on this planet. Next, we have Three of Wands. Look at all this fire, so much fire. The Three of Wands is an energy of going on a journey and knowing success, knowing they're going to meet success, right? The Three of Wands individual, there's no question in their mind as to whether they are going to succeed in their endeavor. They know that they are going to. And I feel like that's kind of like Spirit at the same time is like acknowledging that you haven't given up, or maybe you've been considering giving up, and this is a message to not, and to, carry the disposition of it's not if, it's when. Okay. And for some of you guys have had that disposition of like, okay, I'm just waiting for that, one video to go viral, or, just one person, just that synchronous moment, that serendipitous moment where a person with a large following like shouts out your name, or talks about a video that you dropped, or something that a TikTok you made, whatever it is, whatever you're doing, a product you've released, and felt very changed and altered by your message, and again by your medicine. It's that kind of serendipitous thing, energy that Spirit wants you to stay in, and to not have this idea that you know exactly how it's going to unfold, but to be in the openness of the energy of like anything is possible and you can feel it in your bones. It's not if, it's when. And lastly, I love this. We have the 10 of Cups. So this is so beautiful, group number 1. This is like, I feel like your dream life. You're manifesting your dream life. And I don't even really like to use the word manifesting because it's, you know, it's already there. All timelines already exist. It's not like you're creating anything. It's you're choosing which timelines you want to merge with. And so again, keeping the newness, the excitement alive in your heart, and assuming everything is going to go better than you could anticipate, because that's literally the message that your universe would like to give you in this moment. This is the timeline you're on. You are on your highest timeline. And if you could just have a little bit more faith and confidence, not self-sourced confidence, not in the, you know, the lower will, but confidence in thy will, right? Not my will, thy will. Confidence, the confidence that is unshakable, because when you're aligned with something that's much greater than you, which is what our dharmic path, our highest timeline, has much more to do with our service to the world than it does our own selves, our own individual timelines. When you're aligned with that something greater, you just know that you got it going on, right? There's no question about it. So it's right around the corner. Okay, don't give up. Like, you are literally about to just blow. Your own mind is going to be blown in a good way, because Leo is of the heart, right? And so I feel like this is a surrendering pride, surrendering you think you know how it's supposed to go, and know that you're exactly where you're meant to be. All of the little, you've been just learning little lessons along the way, and you're just being fine-tuned for the success that's coming. So you will wield your power in a healthy way. And again, it's like more power, more responsibility kind of thing, but it's coming, it's here. I can feel it. It's really exciting. And I feel like, again, just all of the waiting is going to make you, I just picked up the deck and I randomly split it to the 10 of coins. But yeah, I feel like this is going to make you much more grateful. Not saying you have an ungrateful heart, but you're going to be even more grateful when this success comes in, because of how long it's taken. I feel like this is something for most of you guys. You've been building this snowball of momentum for many years now, and it's just about to take off. Okay, so let's get into this. Next, we have something your universe has been trying to convey that you've not been receptive to recently. All that glitters. Yeah, so this is like not comparing your journey to anyone else's and thinking that someone else has had it easier in any way. Or, yeah, this is something that my guides worked with me many years ago when I was just starting to build like everything. And I was like, wow, like I've watched literally a tarot reader on here go from 19K to like within a span of 2 days, she was at like 200,000. And I was like, what the F? Like, why does this seem so easy for some people? And other popular tarot readers on here too say they blew up overnight. You know, this is your reminder not to compare and to not think that someone else's journey has been easier than yours just because it's looked different. And again, you don't know. This is, again, I really feel your guides reiterating and your universe reiterating that we don't know someone's karma in this life. We don't know what someone's lessons were. We don't know how many lifetimes they've been working to get to this point, just to focus on you and to, you know, I feel like there's almost like a glamorized, to not over glamorize anyone else's journey or your journey. You know, and I feel like a big part of this is just not getting so caught up in the world, right? I feel like Spirit really wanted you to focus on your spirituality, your spiritual walk before getting to this level of success, so it doesn't like go to the head. You know, it stays in the heart. It stays a heart-centered practice, a heart-centered dharmic unfolding, right? Not for you. Yeah, some of the things, I just feel like maybe some of the things you were working towards or that you thought that you wanted to go for were just like, it was missing the mark in some way. And I feel like something they've been trying to tell you that you've not been receptive to recently is maybe there's, I feel like certain paths, certain timelines, certain ways things have unfolded for others. Again, there's been comparison. It's like, that's just not what is meant to be for you in this life. This is just not how the story was meant to unfold. I'm going to get deeper with the tarot. We have the 9 of Cups. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Queen of Cups. We have the Eight of Swords. And we have the Chariot. Yeah, determination, Chariot. I feel like if anything, this has been, again, a test of your will. And I feel like there is an aspect here of the assumptions that you tend to make along your journey. Like, I feel like if anything, this is, again, it's a very subtle journey you guys are on. And what I mean by that is it's not necessarily anything that you are or are not doing in your external life. It's like the energy behind what it is that you are doing. And so another way of saying that is like the universe, your universe has been fine-tuning your reason for doing things. And so it's like, gosh, I'm having a hard time breaking this down. It's like you can know that you're here to be in the public eye for some reason. It's all over your charts, right? You have 10th house placements, you have Capricorn, you know, you have Leo, whatever. You have your Jupiter is in the 10th house in the sign of Aries or something, you know. There's something that has been really obvious to you that you are meant to be in the public eye in some way. And I feel like the mind got the best of you, or you weren't ready for something. And maybe you were in the limelight, or you know, did something for a matter of time. And then your universe pulled you back because it gave you a taste of it. And not that you weren't ready. Yeah, you just weren't ready. Okay. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. You just weren't ready for it. And so you kind of went into this cocoon of, you know, learning how to put the heart first and learning how to play the game in a more integrity-led way, focusing more on this internal sense of fulfillment and doing things that are truly inspired for the right reasons, right? And what are the right reasons? Where we recognize we have certain gifts in this life, and as souls that are drawn to my channel, it's safe to say you're older souls and that you've spent many lifetimes, not just on the earth plane, but most certainly within other planetary forms of evolution as well. And so, yeah, it's safe to say you guys have been around the celestial block. And I forgot what that tangent was for, but ultimately saying that I feel like you were kind of falling into the mindset of younger souls. And this planet is majority younger to maybe mature souls, where a big part of why they do the thing, it's like it's the yellow ray, right? It's the yellow ray. It's it hasn't made its way up to green ray, which is heart chakra, right? Yellow ray is where younger and mature souls tend to exist at. And so they're focused on the material. They're focused on power. They're focused on, you know, they feel entitled to things. And they are much more likely to, what's the word? They're much more likely to exploit people and the planet to get what they want. Okay. And so spirit, knowing your universe, knowing that we're part of this collective in this life. And so of course those things are going to, you know, this morphogenetic field connects all of us as species. Every species is connected by this morphogenetic field. Look up the 100th monkey effect. If you don't know what that is, essentially, even if you know better, you're part of this species, and ancestral karma is the thing. Collective karma is the thing. I'm at a point where I really don't think we have individual karma. I feel like, you know, we just are born into these bodies and our soul just picks up its portion of the collective karma based off of, you know, what it has experienced in the past. And it just comes into a body that already has those blueprints, likely based off of ancestral things, DNA, genetics, etc. And so I feel like spirit was just kind of helping you purge and purify the yellow ray, distorted yellow ray habits of, you know, humans on this planet, and whatever anxieties, right? It's like anxieties that exist in terms of your dharma is probably because you're looking at it the wrong way, or again, the place you're sitting when you are actively pursuing certain things is not fully, it's not fully there, right? It's not fully in a place, like it's, again, if it's in the third ray, in the third chakra, the solar plexus chakra, it hasn't fully moved into the heart chakra. And that's where your magnetism is. The degree of things that we attract, or the degree of intensity, quickness that we attract things. It all has to do with the heart, right? And so that's what I'm seeing here. You've been fine tuning and just been given time to come into your heart more. And that has been increasing your magnetism. And Spirit's been giving you time. Your universe has been giving you time to really focus on the things, focus on the people that bring you alive, that open your heart more, and those situations that open your heart more. And yeah, I do see that there's been a lot of, you've just been working so hard over these past years to, to be a wise steward of the power that you were meant to wield in this life. Okay. And yeah, so it's all for a reason. And you've just been being fine-tuned, and yeah, kind of purging the lower ways of living. No judgment. We've all been there. But again, you've just done this so many times that you're just well beyond certain lessons. But again, I just feel like there have just been, we're part of this collective. So I think there's been some influence in terms of like, what's your reasoning for doing these things? Like, you can know that you're here to impact a lot of people. But that's not, let's not get carried away with that kind of thing. Like, you have a deeper purpose. You have a greater purpose. The reason why you can feel that is because, there are certain people that need your medicine. There are groups of people that need your medicine. And Spirit wants you to be in a place to where you're focusing on the medicine and seeing other as self, and not necessarily what I can get, right? What pile one can get, the gratification you can get. It's like, yeah, when it's third ray, any type of gratification you could get from third ray about me, about small self, is turned up 10,000 fold when it goes into heart ray. And it's more of like, wow, like the other is self. This is me helping myself. It's like a shift in perception is what you've been going through, a fine tuning in perception for sure. But, all obstacles will be removed, and the obstacles that have been there were there for a reason. It's like, you're going to have much more integrity with your power as you move forward. So yeah, I think I'm going to put these away now as we move forward with this reading. Let's get into how to be more open to messages from your universe. Passion ignited. We have the Ace of Wands again. You had it come up just a little bit ago in the tarot. We have material harvest, patience and planning, a lot of earth energy, so slower moving type of energy. We have base chakra. We have transformation. And we have stand your ground. Yeah, so we have 2 sevens, we have 2 ones. So 777 or 111 might be a number that you've been seeing a lot, or that you will see a lot after this reading, to confirm the energy and the messages that came through today from your universe, just paying attention to the signs and synchronicities. I feel like overall, this is, again, it's just kind of reiterating the same message that Spirit has been, communicating. How to be more open is like knowing your needs are going to be met, and knowing that things aren't working necessarily on the timeline of the lower self for a reason, that your fire has been building, and to focus on those things that, keep the fire stoked within you. There's a lot here too about, not being fooled by appearances, not needing the external to look a certain way before you feel secure. Before you feel secure in yourself and where you're going. This is allowing the fire of purification to do its deep healing. All right. And so I feel like it's allowing your body to feel what it's feeling, because, one of the reasons things like talk therapy, I feel like, can be beneficial. This is not me like ragging on anything, but one of the reasons I feel like some people, say that they've been going for years, for example, I've been talking to my therapist for years, and I still feel like that scared 8-year-old girl, that had nowhere to turn to, no one to turn to. One of the reasons it doesn't work, or it doesn't, it's just one key. It's not going to fully heal or fully get someone to the place where they actually feel like a new person is because this is cellular things that are happening. They say our issues are in our tissues, not in our brain. Okay, so there's a lot of grounding here. There's a lot of purification, cellular purification, that I feel like your universe wants you to focus on more. And knowing that your relationship to money and your relationship to abundance, and it's not a worthiness thing. It's not like a law of attraction thing where you are not doing a good job at like visualizing it. That kind of reminds me of like the talk therapy example. It's not a cerebral thing. It's a nervous system thing. And so I feel like the more grounding you can do will help transmute some of this energy, or just, stabilize your nervous system. Because a lot of how spirit communicates to us, whether it's a new direction spirit wants you to move, or whether it's just having clarity and knowing that you're exactly where you're meant to be, even if things aren't moving the way that your mind would like to suggest to you they should be moving. A big part of just like feeling confident in exactly where you're at and the steps that you're taking is that clarity comes through a calm nervous system and a calm demeanor, right? And tapping more into that peace that surpasses all understanding, regardless of what's happening. That's, the entire spiritual journey. What the yogi's goal is to get to that point where there's a recognition of it doesn't matter what's happening on this transient plane of existence. I know I'm good. You see through the illusion, you see through the falsities. And because you're tapping into that, because the mind is essentially eradicated in that state, it's like, then you're living in true flow. You're seeing it for what it is, right? What is all that's mine is yours, right? Is what Jesus was quoted saying in the Bible. And I feel like essentially that's just honoring what's coming through and how spirit is breaking this down right now. And essentially I feel like that symbol is being reiterated because you guys are here much more. Like, I feel like spirit doesn't want you to generate more karma for yourselves and getting so lost in the things that are transient. And I feel like your soul has done a lot of work to go beyond those things, to transcend those things. And so again, Earth is just so dense, and it's populated with a lot of younger to mature souls that are still in the yellow ray. And so spirit just really doesn't want you to get, to generate and accrue anything that you've already worked through, or that, you've already spent many lifetimes transmuting, right? And so, yeah, I feel like a lot of this is just taking care of your physical vessel and not letting the mind get the best of you, grounding, right? Going out in nature, moving your body, breathing, breath work. Okay, actually, I guess I could totally leave that out. Let's get into the last aspect of this reading. What your universe is assisting you with currently on your path. We have, I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. Yeah, again, this is about fine-tuning perception. That's something that was coming through in the very beginning of not seeing, seeing things through the lens of fear. Again, is the lens of it's not working out. Why is it working out for other people? There's certain timelines that I feel like should be met, right? That's more of the lower will. And again, part of the being fine-tuned and being on this path is being a beacon of, is being the embodiment of this message of, how the universe works. It is miraculous that we're even here. And it wants to give, it's all you. It wants you to win and to succeed in all the ways that your heart feels like you're meant to succeed. It wants that. However, it can't do that when there's too much fear. Fear and love don't coexist in the same moment, right? When you're in your mind, you're not in your heart, and vice versa. So this is, again, purging those yellow ray energies and sitting more in the seat of your heart. Looking at all things, including exactly where you're at through the eyes of love, not judging yourself, not thinking you should be somewhere that you're not, and that actually knowing that you're much closer than you think you are. Next, we have the Five of Wands for what your universe is currently assisting you with, and we have the Emperor. So there might be some things in your life that are going on that feel like that it just feels like it's like what the message is about you being closer than you think, and what's actually appearing in your reality might not seem cohesive. But again, that's when you're seeing through the eyes of fear. It tells a different story than the eyes of love. Another way of saying that is when we're seeing things from our lower self through a more contracted lens of perception, it tells a much different story than we're in a more expanded state. That's why sometimes when you're kind of existing here as an old soul and you go to someone that's a younger soul, you go to them for advice and they're here in terms of their lens of perception and how much work they've done to expand it, you're always going to feel shittier when you go to advice from someone who has a less expanded lens of perception, because they're seeing through a more contracted lens. They're seeing more through more of the eyes of ego than you are. And so when you go to someone that's more expanded than you, they're going to take you closer to the eyes of God, seeing through the eyes of God, seeing through the eyes of the higher self. And so I feel like, yeah, that's a good gauge on how you're seeing things and understanding everything that's going on in your life, any conflict you've been having with people, if it feels like you've been butting heads with a lot of people or just your environment, whatever. Understanding first, Mars and Venus are both in Leo, so it could be just a planetary thing, but also just knowing that everything is going according to plan. Everything is going as it should. And with this Emperor energy, it's just reiterating the fact that you're being fine-tuned to be the leader that you're meant to be. You've always been a leader. You've always been someone that has naturally shined, that's naturally stood out from a crowd. You could walk into a room, you're turning heads, people can feel your presence or lack thereof. And so again, it's like understanding all parts of your journey have been necessary, and it's closer than you think. And I feel like it's right around the corner. And yeah, you're there's a lot in store for you, group one, and it's all going to plan. And again, I feel like this is also too, you're going to be in a place of unshakability to other people's, so that other people's opinions and perceptions, etc., are not going to have any type of influence over what you know you're doing and why you know that you're doing it. And so there's a lot, again, there's a lot of subtleties here in place, but I feel like the biggest thing here, what your universe is currently assisting you on, is like not being altered by what people have to say about you or their opinions of you or what they think you're doing and how much they think you're doing or how much they think you're not doing. It's like you're going to be in a place where the mind of man has little to no effect on what you know you're doing. Because I feel like you're going to be, again, an individual that is working in the public eye and that, you know, is working with a lot of people. A lot of people know you, know about what you're doing. And so, you know, if any little part of criticism, any point of criticism makes you come crumbling down and question your entire path, and, you know, that's not Emperor energy. And so that's what's Spirit is kind of helping you with at this time, is like, okay, just release whatever, you know, we're all on our own journey, and just like release what they think. And, you know, again, it's fine tuning. Where's your heart at? And in the right place, things like that, how people perceive you, it doesn't touch you because you know what you're doing, why you're doing it. You barely know the subtleties of your own path. And so no one else is going to really be able to tune into that. The subtleties of what you're here to learn and how you're here to learn it, right? So just like letting it go. And I feel like you might be getting a lot of it might seem unrelated to your path, examples of like how you tend to let the ideas of other people towards you, the opinions of other people towards you, or in general, go above what you know that you're here to do and who you know you're here to be. Right? And so, yeah, it's all preparing you for this new chapter that's right around the corner. Shit's about to pop off for you, pile number one. Keep going. You've been taken care of every step of the way. You have a really good connection to your higher self. There's just been some fine tunings that have been happening over I feel like this has been like a few years, honestly. It feels like a journey that you've been on with the stand your ground, determination, chariot energy that's come through. And you don't have big Emperor energy. You don't get that overnight. That's something that's built, right, over lifetimes and years within one incarnation, but it's coming. All that you've been wanting, you know, it says when you protect your purpose protects you. And so you've just been learning how to protect your purpose over the past few years, and the tables are going to turn and the scales are about to tip to where you really see plainly that, you know, the evidence of all the work that you've been doing. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave this reading here for now. I hope this brought clarity, confirmation, and peace to your heart. If this was your pile today, go ahead and leave a lion emoji in the comment section if you have nothing else to to talk about or to comment, please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate all the ways that you guys support me in this channel, especially if these messages continue to resonate for you. And I hope to see you again soon. Much love. All right, group number 2, welcome to your reading, all about a message that your universe would like to give to you. And me being a humble aspect of your universe in this moment, I do hope these bring the confirmation and synchronicities that you're seeking. Again, thank you for those that joined along for the breathwork session, the Getting Unstuck group breathwork and meditation container on Saturday. So much fun. If you guys want to stay in the loop for future group gatherings, whether virtual or in person, make sure you're subscribed to my newsletter, and know that I do still offer personal readings as well. You can find all of this in the description box below. So there are 4 aspects to each reading today, my friends. First is the message your universe would like to give to you in this moment. Next is something your universe has been trying to convey that you've not been receptive to recently. How to be more open to messages from your universe, and what your universe is assisting you with currently on your path. This is here as clarification deck. All right, let's get into this. Again, you can stay for the shuffling portion, or you can skip right on ahead using the link in the description box, the timestamps. So we're calling upon the higher selves and the guides that are overseeing the group of souls drawn to this pile today. We're asking, what is the message you would like to give to group number 2 in this moment, please? What's the message you'd like to give to group 2 in this moment? Clear, concise, accurate messages, please. Okay. And again, what's the message for group number 2? What's the message you'd like to give? All right, next, Spirit, we are asking something that you've been trying to convey to group number 2 that they have not been receptive to recently. What have you been trying to convey to group number 2, please? Okay, gonna grab the card that fell. Love when that happens. I'm just so intertwined with headphones connected to things and cords going everywhere. It's kind of inconvenient, but we do what we do, right? Okay. Next, how can group number 2 be more open to messages from their universe? How can group 2 be more open to messages from their universe? Oh, thank God, didn't fall. Okay, one more pass through. Anything else? All right. Next, we are asking, lastly, I should say, whoops, oh my load. Okay, what is group 2's universe assisting them with currently on their path, please? Okay, and last little clarification. All right. Okay, group 2, let's get into this. So first, tuning into the message your universe would like to give to you in this moment. What's the message? The end of a tough cycle approaches. Love this for you. This could be the end of a tough financial cycle. This could just be the end of something that you've been working diligently at or towards. This could be like a spiritual work you've been undergoing. Just Capricorn energy is very determined overall. They mean business with those things that they ultimately feel like are going to evolve them and push them, steer them into the direction of being who it is that they came to be. And Capricornian energy, is, kind of badass. They're about their business. They're really intentional, right? Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which is all about responsibilities. And Saturn is all about, too, when we look into the astrological significance of a Saturn return in our natal chart, it's all about getting clear on what it is we came here to do, who it is we came here to be. And it can be a very tumultuous time, right? Maybe some of you guys are even going through your Saturn return, since I'm even going into this, where the more devout you have been up to this point in time in terms of following your highest intuition, following the voice of faith over the voice of fear, kind of determines how shaky our life gets, not only during a Saturn return, but just in general, especially those beings that are drawn to my channel or that are drawn to this pile in particular. I feel like you guys are a group where you don't mess around about your life and you are really intentional, like seekers, pure seekers is what I'm getting, where you really want to know what it is you came here to do and who it is you came here to be and how you can contribute in a way that is natural to you and that's not forced and that doesn't feel like you're stepping outside of the integrity of who you are. And so maybe you've been going through a lot of purges as you've been just fine-tuning your life. And as life has been fine-tuning you is probably a more accurate way of saying that. Saturn is Saturn's energy leaves us bitter or better, right? And it's a very purifying planet, but it's all for our own sake. It's all for the sake of leading us in the direction of the things that we really want. And so maybe you've just been wondering when, this hellish cycle or this challenging period that some of you guys may have been in for years is, you're, coming to the end of that. You've been wondering, when is it going to be over? And it's here, baby, right around the corner. We have death. Yeah. You have been going through an insane transformation, and maybe even some of you guys have been going through like a dark night of the soul, or just in general I am just getting in general the energy of just a complete death, psychological death of who you thought you were, who you thought that you were, who you think that you can become. You've gone through a deep transformation of the psyche. Wouldn't be surprised if some of you guys have kind of gone a little bit AWOL. I'm not sure. I think that's the word, but just AWOL. You've just kind of dropped off the map, right? You've just been in your own cocoon, marinating in your own energy, sifting through this time that you're in kind of on your own, right? I am just getting big purge kind of energy where you just gotten a real clear look at who should be in your life, what makes sense, what should be in your life. And even if this is not something you initiated on your own, life is really giving you and has been giving you really clear evidence of those things. I'm hearing something about learning to stick up for yourself too. That just popped through. What else does this have to do with? Any other details that wants to come through about the message universe would like to give this group? I just feel like you guys have been going through a lot, and the universe is like, it's not for no reason. Okay, we got you. There's no such thing as a punishment, right? This is like really getting you guys to move more in harmony with the universe, where it doesn't have to feel like such an uphill battle. At first in our journeys, it does feel that way. It can feel that way, but then we learn to surrender little by little. With this Capricornian energy too, there might just be some things, you know, you guys just might have learned that if you are going to get things done, you have to do it yourself, right? That kind of energy. And so there's like a release of control that you've really been learning. And like, that's kind of what comes along with identity crisis, or not even crises, but just like when there's a break in ego or a break in identity. It's, wow, I lost that thought. It's kind of like a complete, like blank slate. Yeah. Like your mind just kind of goes blank, and it's actually really like beautiful when you go through these periods where, you know, you just see how so much of your habits, patterns, and behaviors are just like practiced things. It's like this universe is, giving you a blank slate kind of mind, clearing the mind, clearing the slate in a way. And so, yeah, maybe in for a certain amount of time, you're like, I don't even know who I am. I don't know where I'm going. And that's good. That's a really good space to be, because then you're actually malleable. Then you can be shaped into the version of yourself that you wanted to be, that you came to take birth, that, you know, the intention your soul had for coming here. So next we have Seven of Cups. Yeah, things have been up in the air. You're not really sure where you're going, which direction to choose. You've been fine-tuned, however. You're definitely magnetizing. Yeah, the message here too is to not like force things. And if things are like not clear, like the things that are meant for you, group 2, are going to be very clear. And so if you're in this weird in between, don't try to like force a new identity or a new direction before like before it just feels right? The things that are for you, pile 2, are like going to scream to you. It's not something that you're going to have to wonder about. It's not something that, that you're going to have to go out seeking. It's kind of like something like this next chapter, this next phase, this next direction is just going to kind of fall into your lap. It's like the fire element is the element of purification, right? And the element of magnetism. So those things that are meant for you are going to be glaringly obvious. And the way it's glaringly obvious is it's going to light you up, every cell in your body. Next, we have the 10 of Cups in reverse, and we have the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. So yeah, I feel like you guys have just been feeling very lonely and very desolate in a way, and like, where am I going? Very isolated. So kind of confirming the energy that was coming forward before. And you know, this is coming to an end. You learned certain lessons. You were meant to extract certain things from this. And I just feel like you guys have done a lot of shifting, and you've been really about your spiritual journey, for sure, is what the king tells me. You've been really focused on your spiritual walk, and you've done a lot of upgrading, dark nights of the soul for some of you, Saturn returns for some of you. You guys have definitely gone through a huge glow up. On the other side of this, there is a huge glow up. Look, I just picked up strength. So you guys have been persevering. You've been on this journey for some time, and the universe just wants to commend you and to say, don't give up. All right, it's closer than you think, even though it might not seem that way. It might not appear that way right now. So next, something that your universe has been trying to convey to you that you've not been receptive to recently. Never ending story. Yeah, again, you just feel like, I'm always going to be here. I'm never going to, like, when am I going to like be out of this energy? Also, there's something here about narratives, like the narratives that you tell yourself. Sometimes we can we can be in like kind of a rut or like a heavy energy for like a day or two and just like completely blow it up. I find myself doing this too, where it's like, I feel like I've been in it forever. And it's like, no, it's literally been like a day, maybe more than that. But to remember that nothing is ever never ending, right? Everything on earth is transient. It's always changing. Like, this too shall pass, whatever it is. And so again, keeping your mind fresh. There's a really big message here too of, as you are shifting into this new version, as you've gone through this very clear transformation and this very clear death cycle, do not go back to those old people, those old stories, those old behaviors, those old environments that you've clearly moved beyond and that you've grown past, okay? Don't feel like you owe anyone anything either, like an apology or like a reason. It's just, no, we're shifting, we're growing. And so essentially there's a reminder here to not undo all the progress you've done up to this point in time. Let's get more details. We have the Tower in reverse. Yeah, don't try to resist the inevitable changes. It's inevitable, honey. It's not meant for you. Spirit is on your side, believe it or not. This is your universe, your YOUniverse. Everything that's happening is only able to happen by the allowance of higher self. And if it's happening and you don't understand, simply ask, show me. What is the relevance of this? What is the lesson of this? But don't resist the changes that are coming, because it's really here to help move things through. The things that have been taken away, maybe you can't see now why. It's a blessing in disguise. But the things that have fallen out of your life, it is a blessing, all right? Rejection is divine intervention, divine redirection. Whatever has been seemingly rejected from your life, seemingly removed from your life, it's meant to. There's so much here about things being removed from your life, okay? And there's a reason. And maybe you've been stuck at, like, I feel like this is really giving fun. Like, I did see justice come up, and that's really what I was getting is, it's like the scales are finally tipping, where I feel like you've been in this loop for some time, where like you'll make a little progress. It's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back kind of thing. And so I feel like you're finally ready to like fully step beyond this. And those 1 step forward, 2 steps back, that was part of the cycle. Okay. That was part of, you know, you were slowly edging your way out. It's not like you were making no progress, right? That was just an assumption. That was just your observation, your experience of it. Doesn't necessarily mean it was true or that you weren't making strides. Transformation is a process. Transformation does not happen very quickly. And if it does happen seemingly quickly in this life, it's because someone has been spending lifetimes working their way up to that point. It's a process, and we don't want to rush the process. It's simple physics. There's an equal and opposite resistance to the amount of positive moves we make. I'll say that one more time. When we're trying to go really fast, making a lot of positive change in our life at once, it's a natural part of this planet that there is going to be an equal and opposite resistance. Okay, so maybe that's part of it too. Like, why does it seem like I keep trying to get better, and then I sabotage, or I like have the intention and I like will take strides in this direction, and then I'll like completely fuck it up or like go backwards? That's part of the cycle, right? Focusing more on small, consistent baby steps over like bursts of huge things where you're, you know, like ripping up all your cigarettes and pouring out all the liquor, you know, like if that's where you're at and your will supports that, awesome. But maybe for you, it's like, okay, I'm just going to like cut back a little bit here, a little bit there, like slow progress in that direction, weaning kind of thing, right? To where, till it gets to the point where it's a no-brainer, or it's super simple, or this next version of yourself is easier to step into. It's not like this big thing, you know. That's why we see so many people at the start of the new year, or, you know, the Gregorian New Year at least, just like fall off before 30 days, is because they've bit off this huge chunk that's like very unrealistic. And then it keeps us in a cycle of shame. It keeps us it's this endless cycle. Shame is such an endless, it keeps us stuck for a while, because then self-doubt starts to accrue. Then we wonder if we'll ever get better. And then the mind starts going on with its narratives. Okay. But the second you find yourself going there, just breathe, go for a walk, you know, acknowledge how far you've come and how you're moving differently than you did even a month ago, 2 months ago, a year ago. All right. Next, we have the 9 of Pentacles. And this is for what your universe has been trying to tell you. We have the 8 of Pentacles. Keep working. Yeah, you're working to your 9 of Pentacles. You are there. You're almost there. We have the 8 of Cups. Leave behind what is meant to be left behind, because there's so much beauty on the other side. I feel like this has been kind of a lonely time for you, my friends. And there's a new start. It's like you have to purge that old energy first. It's like, I feel like you're kind of in this in between. It's like a bardo where you're kind of still attached to the old life because you're not really sure if life has anything else for you. And that, I say this with peace and love, is absurd. There's so much beauty to be had. There's a new start right around the corner, new people. There's so much here about your environments getting ready to shift, maybe even your job. Things are taking off in your career, your side hustle, but things are shifting. Like the work that you've been doing, there's a lot of earth energy, which is slow moving energy. Okay, you've been putting in work. Capricorn is an earth sign. There's so much slow and steady. Okay, that wins the race. It really does. But in order to welcome in, to open this new door, it means that other doors are left behind, other chapters, other environments, other places in the house. I don't even know how many other analogies I can give, but you're choosing one over others, right? Not that it's better, but that it's more relevant for who you're becoming, all right? Who it is you came here to be. Because I know that's very important to you guys. Okay, so next we're going to get into, I guess I could leave this out. I'm still trying to playing around with my new setup. Bear with me. Next, we're going to get into group 2, how to be more open to messages from your universe. How can you be more open to messages from your universe? Balance, there's justice. Yeah. A neutral mind is what I'm hearing. So according to the yogis, humans have three minds. There's 3 aspects of the mind. There's a positive mind, a negative mind, and a neutral mind. On planet Earth, most people result or revert to the negative mind almost instantaneously. When something happens, it's like instantly people are thinking the worst thing. I know you guys have certain parts of your life where it's easier for you to do this, where you automatically jump to the worst possible conclusion. Just be aware that that's part of the planetary karma, is that the negative mind is much more intact. It's much more available. It takes work to have a positive mind, right? That's affirmation, seeing the bright side, searching for the silver lining. And then the purpose of the spiritual journey, or the intention of it, is to have the neutral mind, where you've transcended polarities, positive and negative, and you see the perfection in all things. Okay, so this is how to be more open to messages, is when you're like, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not so sure how this is supposed to go. Maybe it's not going to turn out as bad as I think. Just not being too positive, because if you're believing in your mind, even in the positive, and you're already pretty frail in terms of, you tend to have a pretty, you can loop in this aspect of your life. You tend to get pretty loopy, spirally, going off the deep end kind of energy. Then you don't even want to try to flood yourself with a positive aspect, because as long as you're believing in the mind, you're opening yourself up to the entire spectrum. And the mind is not necessarily our friend. The mind is here to be, it's like a technology, right? We program the technology. We're supposed to, but most of us have showed up and it's already installed, and we're like, how do I clear this? How do I get rid of this? And so learning how to maintain a balanced demeanor is how you're going to work through this. We have spiritual union, how to be more open to messages from your universe. Interesting that we have the universe coming up in reverse. There's a mistrust of the universe. And maybe some people that are in your life, or a person in particular that's in your life, maybe and we have spiritual strength in reverse. Interesting. We have spiritual union. And it's interesting because when this card flipped over, you guys, I didn't see any of the other cards. And I thought, or the thought that was given to me, the download I had, how to be more open, was union with the universe. Not necessarily what the traditional 2 of Cups meaning is. But this was union with the universe. And it's really being reiterated through spiritual strength and universe. So I feel like this is when you start to find yourself in those mind loops, engaging in your practices, or reading texts, spiritual texts, reading things that help to break the chain of reactivity of your own mind and take you beyond, to help you see more through the eyes of God. There's a deep mistrust here. And maybe it is because you have been in this cycle for so long. You're wondering, is anyone, group number 2 is do I even really believe that there's a purpose for me, or that I can make it out of this period? Can I even be that person? I see everyone else. It seems like it comes so easily to other people, following their dreams, making their dreams happen, making a name for themselves, etc. All the things that are important to the Capricornian archetype. Even if you're not a Capricorn or have strong Capricorn, this is just the energy that's coming through. Why does it seem like the universe doesn't have my back, right? This is part of actually growing, gaining spiritual strength, is going through these dark nights of the soul, where it's, Father, why have you forsaken me? I feel like I've been doing everything that has been asked of me. And there's a reason. There's most certainly a reason. Those are the most purifying times, right? When we've lost seemingly all hope, or all faith. And somehow we keep being called back to it. And it's not wishful thinking. It's because that's the nature of things. And so your muscle, your faith muscle is definitely being tested, my friends. It's also being strengthened simultaneously. And things are getting better, okay? Things are looking up. This is definitely like an initiation. This is, what is it? You're going through the fire, right? This is like a rite of passage. What is it? What is the phrase I'm looking for? It'll come up at the most random time, I swear, when I'm like falling asleep. Yeah, let's move on. What your universe is assisting you with currently. So yeah, just trusting the messages that come through is the main thing that came through for the main message that came through for how to be more open to messages from your universe. Knowing that it's all you, baby. It's all you, and it's all on your side. It's all us. It's all one. Next, what is your universe assisting you with currently? We have, when I focus on my inner light, I see the world through the lens of love, the eyes of God. Let's see, clarification. We have 10 of Wands. Yeah, it's been heavy, my friends. You're almost out of this. It's been a journey. Clarity is coming. Insight is coming. You're going to feel renewed. I feel like it's coming quicker than you think. Something about a message coming in. We have 2 10s. So again, signifying the end of a cycle. We also have 111 that I'm seeing. So new beginnings as well. But I feel like if this has been about a job, I really am seeing that you might get a new opportunity to get a new job. A new job is coming in. You've been like struggling, maybe just barely making ends meet, or maybe this is you've just been lonely. You feel like you haven't had the community that you've wanted. It's all coming. It's all right around the corner. This was all very necessary, everything that you went through. There's a lot of purification that you've been gone through, a lot of like humbling moments for you during this period, and it was meant to tenderize your heart. You know, the universe does this in several ways. Sometimes it's by breaking your heart open, and sometimes it's through the reflections of other selves. I feel like for many of you, it's been maybe a combination of both. Maybe you've had some good reflections from other selves and a good experience of love. But for majority of you guys, I really feel like this has really been a time of, like this says, focusing on your own inner light, focusing internally, doing the work, clearing out the codes within you, or integrating the codes that are more dense. So by activating more light, the realities that you're calling in are going to be lighter, you know, figuratively, and like truly, it's going to feel lighter in your body. It's going to feel lighter. Like, I actually want to go in this direction. I love being around these people. I love what I get to do for work, but I feel like very soon things are getting light and moving quickly. There's something here about communication, a message coming through, and I feel like an opportunity to lock in a new timeline. All right. And so I would trust that, right? Trust this direction, even if it seems too good to be true. You've been on this journey for some time and you're about to drop the load, right? After the 10, a cycle of 10 is a new cycle, right? Starting over at 1. So I feel like you've been on this for some time, just feeling like you're barely making it, and you're almost there. And I feel like you can feel it. You're like, okay, it's time. You can feel it in your bones that you've extracted the lessons that this was meant to teach you. And I'm stoked for you, group number 2. You've been putting in the work. You deserve it. It's right around the corner. The life of your dreams, you're merging with that timeline more and more. The friends, the community, the finances, the type of money that you want to make, the levels of prosperity that don't just rely on money, but the internal sense of peace and joy and contentment. That's here, baby. It's right around the corner. And I feel like you can expect that coming in fairly quickly. All right. The insight, the new direction, the message, the email, something is coming in, and it's going to be very clear that yes, this is it. Because then we see the end of a tough cycle approaches, right? So it's approaching, and with that, again, as a new door opening, like fairly soon, if not like, it seems like the cycle just ended in like minutes, a day later, you know, right when you've decided, I'm ready to close the chapter on that never ending story. I'm ready to finally turn the page and be like, okay, it's time, and not this back and forth and like wondering if this is where you should stay, wondering, oh, should, you know, the voice of fear, this is where more promising, you know, this seems more secure, but at the cost of what? you know, at the cost of you truly coming alive even more, and at the cost of you welcoming in this community and this levels of prosperity and love and light and celebration, right? So closing that once and for all, so this new can come in, right? It's waiting. It's just like waiting to come in. I can feel it just like on the cusp of your reality, just wanting to pour in and to really solidify you on this even brighter timeline. So I'm going to leave this here for now. Group number 2. If this was your pile today, go ahead and leave a crown or a sword down below in the comment section. If you have nothing else you want to share, leaving comments, liking videos, subscribing to the channel if you've been here more than once. This all helps my channel grow, and it helps other souls receive these affirming, validating, healing messages when and if they need them. And I do hope to see you again soon. Much love. Hey, group number 3, welcome to your reading. This is all about a message from your universe, YOUniverse. I'm a humble aspect of your universe in this moment, at least, and I do hope these messages bring the confirmation and synchronicity that you are seeking. Thank you again for those that joined for the donation-based group breathwork and meditation circle. It was virtual that I hosted on Saturday called Getting Unstuck, or that was the theme that it was on this time. And if you're ever curious about in-person or virtual gatherings that I'm doing or events or anything, make sure you're subscribed to my newsletter. You'll be the first to know about things that are going on. And just know too that I'm also still offering personal/private readings. You can find the info for all of that, links, everything in the description box below. So my friends, there are 4 aspects to this reading today. The first is the message that your universe would like to give you in this moment, something your universe has been trying to convey that you've not been receptive to recently, how to be more open to messages from your universe, and what your universe is assisting you with currently on your path. There's also a deck here for clarification purposes. All right, let's get into this. You can head to the description box and click the timestamp that says group 3 reading begins if you don't want to see all of the shuffling, because it do be taking a long time sometimes, okay? It do be taking some time. I'm probably not going to shuffle on camera for longer readings from here on out. Okay, so the message that pile 3's universe would like to give them in this moment. Clear, concise, accurate messages, please. What's the message? What is the message for group 3? Message for group 3, please. Okay, next we have something your universe has been trying to convey that you've not been receptive to recently. What's going on, group 3? Why you ain't been listening? What's been going on? What's the message they've been trying to communicate to group 3? Okay. All right. We are now asking how can group 3 be more open to messages from their universe? Love the jumpers. Makes my job so much easier. Thank you. Anything else? Oh, yeah, we'll take that. That feels right. And this guy, for sure. Okay. And let's just scoot you out of the frame. Boop. All right. For the last, oh my God, aspect, we're asking, what is group 3's universe assisting them with currently on their path, please? We will take that one. I saw that guy want to come out. Okay. What is group 3 universe assisting them with currently on their path? Happily ever after. Oh my goodness, it's so clear, it's so obvious. Okay, all right, let's get into this group number 3. Okay, the message your universe would like to give to you in this moment. Hold your vision. Fixed moon. Don't let your past hold you back. I already felt it. I already have a really big feeling of where this reading is going. I'm not going to jump the gun too soon though. I just saw 444 on the clock. Okay, so there is already so much coming through. I'm just going to flip this one over. We have balance. Okay, right away, just so I can confirm the hunch I'm already having, you know, there's like really good things happening for you, group number 3. And I feel like in a way it's so out of sync from like what the majority of your life story has been. I feel like there's been many moments of the rug being pulled out from underneath you, seemingly, and many moments where it felt like you were making good strides in a direction, and then it ended up being like a hall of smoke and mirrors, or a hall of mirrors, where you were left disillusioned, where something seemed too good to be true and it ended up being too good to be true. And I feel like you've been doing a lot of deep work. You're showing up as someone that is extremely balanced and extremely driven. This green energy tells me that you are a heart-led person. Your heart is open. You are really connected to your emotional guidance system. Very intuitive individual. And I think things are just, you're at a point, group 3, where things are getting really good and momentum you've been building good merit and good momentum. And so I did see the round and round card come up, and I had an instant download when that came up, like a symbol, an analogy, and it really is applicable to what's coming through here. And I saw a couple cards over here too. So there's definitely big energy that is kind of telling me that you are, in many aspects of your life, things are like you're operating at a level that a version of you 5-10 years ago could only have dreamed of. I feel like you're stepping into versions of yourself that for a long time you wondered if you like seem just so far out of your reach. And I feel like it's even very simple, because you guys are coming across as like very sensitive souls, very tender souls. Something as just like being able to hold your truth in a room where you don't know anyone, but just being able to be you, or like being able to walk into a room with your head up and make eye contact with people, or, you know, where you feel like you have the amount of conviction in your path that you're going to go apply for that job, or you're going to ask for the interview. You know, it's like things that might seem like normal or like easy for other people seemingly, or I just feel like it's been hard and challenging for you to like exist in a way. Bear with me on this planet with the amount of density. And I don't feel that you're a soul that is native to planet Earth. Not that it matters. What that kind of tells me, that symbol, is that it seems easier for other people to exist because it's almost like their nervous systems are like hardier. Their nervous systems are like made for Earth. Whereas you have a very sensitive, very delicate, fine-tuned kind of nervous system. May have been through some shit, okay, growing up that really sent you into a state of disarray. But I am getting that, you know, things might have not seemed so easy for you because you are a very gentle, pure soul. And I feel like you see things that most people don't, and you read a room much more subtly. Like you're a very subtle being. So things that most people can brush off and not like get them off track, or not like startle them or shake them. You're so subtle that like even the smallest like shift in energy is like loud, very loud to you. So it's made it very hard for you to exist on this planet. Okay, that was a little bit of a tangent, but all very necessary to confirm your energy. But things are shifting is what I'm getting. And it's been a long time coming to get to this point to where you just feel more comfortable in your skin than you've ever felt before. All right. And the things that are happening in your life are because you've been working diligently on your healing. You've been an active component of your healing. You've not healed on accident. You've been searching for the answers. You've been searching, how do I get past this thing? You know, like there has definitely been a part of you that has seen a lot of darkness in this life is what I'm feeling. And things are balancing out. The scales are tipping, and you have done so much of this swinging on the pendulum back and forth to such extremes that now you're finally getting to this place of peace, to where we're still going to have ebbs and flows, group 3, but they're like much more subtle, and it's like getting higher, right? It's like the ebbs and flows, you know, might be all over the place, and you're down here and high peaks and coming back down, but now you're kind of like balancing out, but it's also like a steady incline. So your low today was like a high 2 years ago, 5 years ago. Okay. So it's getting really good. That's a really long freaking way of saying things are getting good for you. And you can trust that. You can just trust. I just feel like there might be a little bit of paranoia. Maybe there's like people in your life or situations in your life that it's like, wow, like, when is life going to wake me up like it has every other time? You know, you're more aware than you've ever been. You know, you needed those wake up calls because you were still like majorly asleep. And now most of your, you know, you're pretty online, group 3. So you're not going to need that, right? Those lessons, you have surpassed them. You've integrated them. Things are getting good, and don't bring past hurts, past pains, things that were out of your control into your new environments, into your new relationships, into your new situations. Times are changing because you have changed. Okay. And this is beautiful. I did get this deck out to confirm. We'll confirm now the energy of this. Any clarification about this message from pile 3's universe? Death, 8 of Cups, walking away from the past, High Priestess, Hierophant. You have 2 of the most spiritual cards in this deck, in a tarot deck. So you have been on your spiritual path. What was I saying? Very intuitive. What was I saying? You are here to be a teacher. You have learned a lot. You have extracted so much wisdom. And what has happened, like literally down to a cellular level, I would be like bold to say you are a new person. Okay, so release those identities. They might come up, they might rear their ugly heads in certain situations. I shouldn't say ugly heads. It's all beautiful. It's all God. You know, it's whatever. It's all an aspect of creation. But some things that rear their heads are just not fun. It's not negative to be jealous. It's not negative to feel insecure in certain situations. It's not negative. It's just not fun. All right. And so you're moving very quickly in this new direction. You're already in these timelines. And I just feel like it's like really turning your back on like the emotional connection that you have to certain versions of yourself. It's long gone. You've already stepped away from certain environments. You've gone through this cycle of death. You are literally a new person. So wise. You are a teacher in your whatever field you're in. You know, people look up to you. People seek your wisdom in things, in many things. You know, people could just like listen to you talk. You literally are just like the embodiment of the divine feminine and masculine aspects of this spiritual journey. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I feel like this is really saying that you have been working for this mastery, for this level of mastery. You're like a Buddha in disguise, right? There's this one YouTube channel I listened to in the beginning of my journey called Buddha at the Gas Pump, where it's like, you never know who's like a Buddha. And I feel like you guys are that person that just like, I feel like you've been on your path for so long. You would be that person that you have so much wisdom, so much deep esoteric knowledge, but it's like you've been practicing this so long. You know, when people first start their journey, they're like, starseed this and law of attraction and just like, man, they're telling everyone about it. I feel like you're way past that phase and stage, and you're just like, it's normal. You'll talk about it if it piques your interest or if you're in this type of a setting or something. But other than that, you're just like living your life you've really balanced the, like heaven and earth. It's like, yeah, I'm a spiritual being, but you're not lost in the clouds. You're down on earth, living your human life, learning your human lessons and enjoying it as much as you can. Hell yeah. Love this for you. Can't wait to see what's next. Something your universe has been trying to convey that you've not been receptive to. Round and round. So yeah, this was giving the feeling that, first of all, I was getting the example of like when we get really frustrated because it's like these karmic things keep coming up, like the same similar situations will keep coming up, or we keep getting mad at our partner about the same thing, or maybe not mad at them, but just like we keep getting triggered by the same things, right? Or like whatever, life is triggering us, someone at work, whatever it is. And like what you notice about the spiral is like, yeah, that's how lessons work on this planet. Like we don't just go through it and it's done. We'll continue to have lovingly beautiful opportunities to meet that same trigger like face to face over and over again, but you'll notice your growth because it's a little bit easier every time, right? It's every time that lesson comes back around a little bit more, you know, you've done the work of undoing that karmic knot a little bit more because it's a bit easier. You're not as tethered to it. It's easier to let go of the thoughts. It's not as easy for you to get stuck in that spiral, that mental loop. Although sometimes it might still happen and that's fine, but it's like that kind of has to play itself out, right? It's like that karma kind of has to run itself out. And if you don't resist it, if you just maintain that neutral disposition, no matter what's happening in your mind, you're going to be out on the other side before you even know it. All right. But I am hearing that you're kind of mind tripping yourself to some degree about all this good that's happening, this new chapter that you're clearly in. We have the Six of Swords. Things are turning out better. Most things are so much better and going to turn out so much better. This is my card for things are turning out better than you can expect. All right. Calm waters. You're on the other side of that Eight of Cups. You're on the other side of the death. You're literally, I feel like you guys have gone through the more painstaking transformations in this life that you're going to have to face. You've like met most of them. And again, not to say we don't have those ebbs and flows, but it's looking up from here. Like you guys are very wise, beyond your years. You are beyond your time. Very old souls I'm dealing with. We have the Knight of Pentacles, slow and steady, devoted. We have the Devil. Yeah, that's that kind of karmic energy I was picking up for sure. So something your universe has been trying to convey that you've not been receptive to is that in the areas of finances, not just finances, that just seems so like little compared to like the big energy that I'm getting. But I feel like when you meet this from a level of just like putting your head down, and I feel like you've been doing this, but the thing about the Knight of Pentacles energy, the Knight of Pentacles is someone that's really led by integrity. And it's someone that is not like essentially new. It's not like the Page energy where there's like a naivety, but there is a sense of devotion to where the Knight still feels like they have something to prove in a way. And so there's kind of a message here that there is nothing to prove and that things will turn out better than you expect. And it's interesting because sometimes there's so much talk about needing to work through our karma. And a lot of the time it's like, just don't generate more and do good deeds and the rest will be transmuted on its own. You don't have to work through it. Again, it's like, don't generate more by responding to fear and by reacting and by, again, succumbing to those old patterns. Recognize that old pattern, that old behavior that's not fun, not serving, and don't do the thing that the lower mind wants you to do from there, right? Choosing to see through the lens of higher self, or at least giving it breathing room, right? And I know sometimes this can be so hard because the programs in our body and our nervous system are so loud, they're so strong. But there is a sense of devotion here and a sense of like, I'm like, yeah, I just feel like one of the reasons why it might be a little overwhelming right now is because you're afraid of messing something up. You're afraid of like sabotaging because you do see the life of your dreams literally like pouring in, and there's a lot of samskaras that are showing their head, a lot of like old versions of self, or old energies, I should say, not even versions of you. There's just like old energies that were attached to old versions that were like protection mechanisms that are just not fun, you know, and continue to meet it with a sense of integrity and not judging it. And again, it's the Knight of Pentacles. It's still acknowledging that progress has been made and we're in an exciting period, but it's still a journey. There's still a long ways to go. But I am getting the sense that it's fun, right? It's more fun from here because the level of awareness you guys are operating at means that your wake-up calls are going to be much less intense, okay, than someone that is like very much unaware of the nature of reality, the spiritual journey, right? The nature of the soul, which is like, we signed up to learn some shit, you know? And so when you're aware of that, you're most likely leaning in the same direction of those things. And so the bounce back or the slap around from the universe isn't as loud. Your YOUniverse. How to be more open to messages from your universe. Spiritual strength. All right. What are your daily practices? What is your sadhana? All right. Where are you breathing, doing breath work, things to help transmute the density? So that's one of the reasons why I'm a breathwork and meditation guide, is because these tools have transformed my life. All right. These are the things that I rely on to help me transmute density. And breathwork, you're quite literally taking dense material, especially when you're going through it, dense material, that's like lower chakra, first chakra kind of stuff. And you're using bandhas, so certain locks of like the pelvic floor muscles, the navel being pulled in, the tucking of the chin. You're using bandhas. You're also using kumbhaka, right? Kumbhaka, which means breath retentions, in order to channel the energy up the spine, going from lower awareness, lower ways of understanding, seeing things through the eyes of ego, to seeing things through the eyes of the higher self, as you're channeling that energy quite literally up the spine through breath holds and retentions, right? And meditation, it's, when you meet things with awareness is the most subtle element on this planet, the most subtle thing, nature and existence, apart from awareness. That is what it is. All that is awareness, right? And so when you shine the light of awareness, light and awareness being synonymous, a lot of the time, that's all you really have to do, is like being aware of something and not attaching these negative narratives to it that reinforce something that you're actually quite literally beyond. It's like the universe is like, if you say so, but you're beyond this with the Death and the Eight of Cups. If you say so, but you've graduated from this, but if you say so, you're the boss, right? So having some sort of practice that keeps your spiritual eye clean. Okay. Triumph, Chariot, not letting appearances fool you. Okay. Any obstacle that's been put before you was put there by your higher self. So there must be a reason. So asking what could be the lesson from this? Or what could this be trying to show me? Or just at the very least, understanding how the amazing person you've grown to be, the badass that you've turned into, and the life you've created for yourself up to this point in time, you've met every single challenge up to this point in time when you were in much denser, unaware versions of self. What makes you think at this level of power that you're already operating at, that you would not be able to, handle whatever would happen at this point, or a year from, whatever your projections are, or your fears? What makes you think you wouldn't be able to handle that when you've taken everything that's ever happened to you, you've taken this shit and turned it into gold every time? What makes you think you would not be able to do that? You only ever glow up from things that happen to you, good, bad, and ugly. You're good. How to be more open. Know that you'll be taken care of, that the obstacles are always put there by you anyways. That's how the hero is made in the hero's journey. Passion ignited. Only doing those things, only saying yes to those things that are, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. All right. Where is your energy guiding you? Where is your natural flow? It's kind of like, I am getting like a generator or manifestor generator. If you guys are into human design, like, it's all about doing those. It's like the analogy that I've heard from following this one page on Instagram is like, or I think it's the main human design page. It's not this one. It's the main page where they're like, even if a generator is like eating healthy foods, but it's not fun, they're not enjoy when they're doing it, it's not healthy. So that kind of thing where we have these ideas of what we should be doing, but if your joy is not there, you shouldn't be doing it. All right. That kind of thing. So the more you're in your joy, the more you're going to line up with the flow of your universe, and the more quickly things are going to happen for you, move through. Wisdom, we have the Hierophant energy coming through again, right? You guys are teachers for sure. For fucking sure. So following those things, maybe even like, I feel like there's just a new identity of stepping into your leadership to a degree that you haven't before. And I think just outside of that too, there's obviously other parts of your reality that have shifted majorly and grown. And it's like, stay on it, keep doing it. Don't psych yourself out. You've gotten this far being out of your mind and being led by your heart. All right. It's not going to get better by going into the mind now, So lastly, what your universe is assisting you with currently on your path. My vibes speak louder than my words. Yeah, this is going where, logic, it's following those directions, that logic, following the internal sense of guidance that logic can't take you. Okay, again, going beyond the mind. What else do we have? The key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. What were we talking about? Yeah, that message was being reiterated, that, you know, being afraid of things happening in our lives makes us, you know, it sends out this message that we don't trust, because we don't, right? The good, bad, or ugly, it's all here shaping you into who you came to be. It's all being created by you. It's all you. It's all us. It's all one. It's all perfect. All right. So even if, yeah, I feel like even this is like going beyond just affirmations and like trying to affirm your way into a higher vibration or something. Again, this is nervous system work that your guides are asking you to do. Your universe is asking you to do. All right. So doing the deep nervous system work, once you come to a place of peace, you're just going to attract things that are peaceful. You're going to attract people that are peaceful, that enhance your peace. All right. And joy, following your joy, passion ignited. Right. And I feel like group 3, like when you're in a place that you don't want to be around, people you don't want to be around, it's clear. It's so clear. You are so much, like, your energy is so much stronger than I think you even know. Okay. So focusing on peace, focusing on prioritizing peace, joy, establishing your nervous system, a neutral mind with this balance card, forgetting the past, letting go of it. Unless you're using it to like help someone through what they're going, it's really not necessary to bring it up, or to like, you know, think about what could have been, or, you know, what someone else did with anyone else before you, or like if you selected this pathway instead of this pathway. It's like, this is the path you're on. This is what's happening now. None of the rest of it is real. It's not now. It's not real. All right. The key to prayer is to forget what you think you need. We have the Lovers. I was feeling like this might have to do with love, but outside of that, this is also my card for happily ever after. I didn't even see this card, and I thought that when I was shuffling. You can even go back. When I was shuffling, I was like, y'all are getting you happily ever after. Okay, so this could have to do, an aspect of it is you've met someone, you're going to meet someone, you feel in love with life, you're in love with someone else. It's a beautiful partner. This was kind of why I feel like those analogies were coming through. I was seeing things in my mind's eye about like things that are relevant in my own journey currently. That's one of the ways that spirit helps me channel, is by like giving me examples. Like, that's how they help me break down the energy, is like examples of my own life. But I was just saying that of like being so deeply in love, and then questioning, you know, just like being so worried about like, is it gonna last? Or being so worried of like, I don't know, just like things that don't matter with peace and love. And maybe too, there's like aspects of yourself that you haven't experienced in a while, like jealousy or feeling insecure or whatever, that are more vulnerable aspects of yourself that are being exposed at this time in your life, because you're ready. It's ready to come up. These are like invisible anchors. These are invisible tethers. And so you are, I feel like, feeling very vulnerable because your heart has been blown open in many different areas of your life. And so you're feeling a little bit exposed, a little bit vulnerable, but that's where we want you to stay. We want you to stay in that vulnerability. Okay. Because it's going to continue. It's, you know, it's going to just, that's where your magnetism lies, my friends, is in your open heart, your vulnerable heart. And so I feel like you absolutely trust what's happening in your life, and don't for a second question the people that are currently in your life and their intentions. They're good. Okay. There's like good people in your life. And, I feel like there's one person really in your life, in particular, whether a friend, you know, this doesn't have to be romantic, but well, it's lovers. It could be, you know, it is a card for soulmates overall. But, you know, I feel like there's at least one, if not many people that just like really appreciate you and love you, deeply love you. You can trust them. Next, we have the Two of Pentacles. We have the Ten of Cups. Don't try to do too much, okay? Your universe is assisting you with just like slowing down and enjoying the journey, and like not like head tripping yourself, not getting too practical. All right. Staying out of your left brain. We have the Four of Wands. I saw the Ten of Cups and the Four of Wands, and that's when I was like, y'all are just living your best life. Okay. Your dream life. Your universe is assisting you with currently. This is so beautiful. There is so much here about you are literally becoming the person you are meant to be. You're in that timeline. The community's coming. The community's there. It's been there. It's growing. I feel like there is a significant person in your life or on the way that is a big part of you becoming who it is you were meant to be. And you're also going to help them do the same. And there's so much support here from the universe and, you know, the people in your life, which are aspects of you. There's so much support here. There's so much love. There's so much celebration. And one of the biggest messages is to not get so tied up in practicalities and to really let your passion, your heart, your open-heartedness, and your joy guide you, and to not get so caught up in like, how do I make this happen? Or like, am I going to make ends meet? Like, does this make sense to do this? Or like head tripping, or like, you know, what happens when I need a new car in 5 years? That kind of thing, you know, just here. It's just here. It's just now, you know, and when you are in that calm demeanor, that calm place, you know, regardless of what your affirmations say on your window or, you know, whatever it is, wherever you keep your little sticky notes. All right. Like, what is your being saying? What are you being? Prioritizing being over doing. All right. But all the good that's in your life, it's not there by accident. All right. You've accrued very beautiful, you've like done good things in many lives, and you're just working through it, right? You're just kind of like undoing the rest of those like smaller anchors and those ways that you still slightly mistrust the universe. And yeah, just learning how to live life in this epic celebration that it's meant to be. You're like a teacher. You're not only a teacher, but you're like the embodiment of like a master, which is, you know, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. We're doing the same thing. The place we're doing it from is much different, right? You've done the work. You have done a lot of work. You have transformed. You are literally a new person. And I feel like you go through many transformations all the time. But the most recent one that you've been through, whether you like, or that you're going through right now, I feel like there's a no going back. Like there's been a line that's drawn in the sand. All right. And it's only up from here. Okay. This is like, I could soak in this energy because I'm like truly so stoked for you guys. Celebrations to be had. There might even be like marriage on the horizon, or talk of marriage, or like family, expanding family, community for sure. But keep doing what you're doing. You're already the person that you're meant to be. And there's just some fine tuning that's going to continue to happen over time. All right. You got this. If this was your group today, what are we going to leave for this? This was epic. If this was your group today, do we have like, can we just leave? I don't know, y'all. If this is your group, surprise me. Just like put a random emoji, because I'll know it was you guys. Because yeah, put your favorite one down below, group 3. And if you have nothing else to say, and please like this video if it resonated. This all helps my channel grow. If you've been here before, consider subscribing. This helps my messages reach those lovely souls that need them when and if they need them. And yeah, let's connect soon. Much love.